केनेषितं पतति प्रेषितं मनः केन प्राणः प्रथम प्रैतियुक्तः.
The Gaiea Upanishad, also known as the Upanishad, is one of the profound texts discovered in the Samaveda. It derives its name from the Sanskrit word Gaiea, meaning by womb, as the very first line begins with this question. Incidentally, this was the first Upanishad I memorized during my childhood, and it left a lasting impression on me. What makes the Gaiea Upanishad truly fascinating is its demand for humility and its strong critical nature. It denies far more than it affirms. It opens with a deeply provocative question. By whom is the mind compelled to act in the manner it does? Who brings the mind into action? At first you might assume that the answer is simple. You do it yourself. But no, the Upanishad insists that it is not you. None of the decisions of your life have been made by you. The compelling force is something far beyond your comprehension. Brahma. Now let us not confuse between Brahma and Brahma. The latter, Brahma, is a personified deity often called Brahmaji in popular tradition. The Upanishadic Brahma, however, is not a person or a god. It is the ultimate substratum of existence, the very ground without which existence would collapse. It is the silent core of reality, sustaining everything. The Gaiea Upanishad repeatedly emphasizes what a Brahma is not rather than what it is. For instance, it declares that Brahma is not the object of ordinary worship people in general perform. It is not a finite being, not an idol, not an object of perception. Instead, it stands behind every object as the unseen foundation of all that exists and functions. The text even mocks intellectual arrogance. If after relentless and exhausting effort, you believe you truly know Brahma, then, well, my dear, you know only a tiny fragment of it. Your claim is revealed not in what you say, but in the attitude and grace you carry. Conversely, if after all your struggle, you arrive at the conclusion that Brahma is unfathomable, beyond expression and understanding, then you have actually had a fleeting glimpse of it. This idea echoes throughout the Upanishad. It is like a fish leaping out of the ocean for a moment to see the ocean as distinct from it. But you, human existence, are denied that leap. There is no beyond for you to jump into, because the very idea of beyond contradicts what existence means. All that exists is within existence. There is nothing outside it. That precisely is infinity. To experience this infinity, not merely to imagine it, you must stop identifying with your ego self, the narrow sense of I that sees itself as separate from the world and free in its will. Freedom, individuality, and separateness are illusions. The Gaiea Upanishad then is less about speculative metaphysics and more about intellectual attitude, the stance you adopt once you recognize Brahma. Brahma cannot be perceived by the eyes of ordinary mortals. Rather, it is inherent in the very power of seeing. It is the subtle principle that enables vision itself, that makes hearing possible, that gives life its breath. It is the eye of the eye, the ear of the ear, the mind of the mind, and the prana of the prana. And certainly, Brahma is not what people generally worship, the emphatic point of this Upanishad. Gaiea Upanishad has 4 chapters, 2 philosophical, 2 allegorical. In its final chapters, the Gaiea Upanishad narrates a brilliant allegory, a story of God's encounter with Brahma. The gods Indra, Agni, Vayu are shown as subservient to Brahma despite their powers. The story mocks the naive pride of beings who overestimate their role in the cosmic order. When we accomplish something, we often assume it was we alone who did it. Human myopia blinds us. We forget that every event has countless causes, some visible and overestimated, some subtle and ignored. From the hot wind of the tropical summer that can irritate you, to the intricate decisions of powerful nations that ended the World War, the network of causes is vast. Yet, humans are quick to take credit, legitimately or not. The allegory drives home this truth. You are not the sole doer of anything. The Gaiea Upanishad strips you of the illusion of doership and situates you in a deterministic universe, a vast dance of causality where you are but a puppet among countless threads. Here's the story. The gods were intoxicated with their success. Agni boasted of its power to burn anything. Vayu of his power to blow away all obstacles. They believed they could repeat these feats endlessly like magicians. Haven't you felt the same? You succeeded once and thought you could do it again, until reality humbled you. One day, Brahma appeared before them in disguise as a mysterious yaksha. Curious, the gods sent Agni to investigate. "Who are you?" asked the yaksha. Agni replied, "I am Jataveda, capable of burning anything to ashes." The yaksha placed a small twig before him and said, "Burn this." Agni tried, yet failed. Humiliated, he returned. Next came Vayu, the wind god. "Who are you?" asked the yaksha. "I am Matarishva, who can sweep away anything," Vayu declared. Yaksha placed the same twig and said, "Blow it away." Vayu tried and failed. Ashamed, he too retreated. Finally, Indra, the king of gods, approached. But as soon as he arrived, the yaksha vanished, and in its place appeared Uma, who revealed to Indra that yaksha was Brahma. This allegory has many interpretations. One that appeals to me is this. Agni, Vayu, and Indra symbolize the senses and the mind. Agni is sight, Vayu is hearing, and Indra the mind, the human mind. The senses can only perceive fragments, and the mind can only conceive, never directly perceive the whole. The mind chops the world into parts, analyzes and imagines, but the synthetic unity of reality is beyond its grasp. No one can truly claim to have understood Brahma, and that is the humility the Gaiea Upanishad demands. In the face of infinity, abandon the arrogance of certainty. And so the Gaiea Upanishad leaves us with a paradox that both humbles and liberates. The more we strive to seize Brahma, the more it slips through the fingers of thought, because it is not an object to be grasped, but the very ground that makes grasping possible. It is the silence behind the word, the stillness that holds every motion, the unseen light by which all things are seen, yet never itself seen. To know Brahma is not to declare "I know," but to bow in wonder at what thought cannot circumscribe. It is to live with the awareness that the I, that proud, persistent doer inside you, is only a ripple upon the infinite ocean of being. And when this awareness dawns, the fever of ownership cools, the noise of the ego subsides, and one begins to sense the quiet majesty of that which was always there, the eye of the eye, the ear of the ear, the breath of the breath. The Gaiea Upanishad does not ask us to worship this majesty as an idol, nor to name it with certitude. It asks something harder, something rarer, to dwell in inquiry, to love the unknown, and to let the question itself become the answer. If you're of the opinion that this video has added value to your understanding, please consider sharing your opinion in the comment section. Also, you can consider supporting my work by liking this video, sharing, subscribing, and also through financial means. Thanks for watching. See you next time.